Hello, good morning. Thank you all for joining. We've got a full house. That's always great to see. My name is Joey van der Watering. I'm a Senior Security Solutions Engineer at Rapid7. And together with Barry today, we'll be showing you what a ransomware attack could look like in your environment. Barry?
Yeah, so Barry I make same role as Joey. So I will be the technical part and Joe will do the first part. What you're going to show, explain the scenario. Go ahead, Joey.
Yeah. So first of all, for those of you who don't know Rapid7, Rapid7 started off as an American cybersecurity company about 20 years ago. We started off with traditional vulnerability management solutions, but later on we extended the portfolio with SIEM SOC services, products, external threat intelligence modules, etc. If you don't know Rapid7, you may know us from our open source projects such as Metasploit or Project Lorelei, which are key and fundamental to the products that we develop day in, day out. Currently, we are active in over 140 countries. Over 140 countries, and we have about 23 offices globally to date. Most of our customers are, I would say, medium to large enterprises, and so we have got 44% of the Fortune 100s as our product portfolio today. When you look at our product portfolio, we started off with traditional vulnerability management 20 years ago, which is now part of our exposure management suite of products. The exposure management suite can someone please turn the volume a little bit down? Back. The exposure management suite consists of vulnerability management, CSPM modules, and DAS solutions. On top of that, we have now got a CASM solution, a cyber asset attack service management solution that allows you to bring in data from your entire infrastructure and have a full analysis on that data. Obviously, that is on the prevention side of things. On the right side of things is the detection and response module. So in case anything goes wrong, we offer the solutions and the technology to make sure you're protected. For that, we rely on our own proprietary SIEM and XDR solution inside IDR, as well as our threat command module for dark and deep web monitoring. All of our products feed into the Rapid7 data lake, and we believe, a key belief in our products is that we don't operate in isolation. You guys have many security products out there, and all of them are extremely relevant. And so if we can take all of that data in and cross-correlate against our own data, that is going to bring much more value to our products as well. When we zoom into inside IDR, we are dealing with a traditional SIEM solution in the sense that we unify your security data across the entire infrastructure. So no matter what EDR solution you have in place, no matter what firewall you have in place, how your Active Directory is arranged, all of that data can be brought into the solution. Out of the box, because of our open source intelligence, we build our own detection rules or use cases. So out of the box, this solution comes with about 9,000 use cases that are updated on a day-to-day basis, depending on the latest state of the security estate that we're dealing with. Then again, detecting incidents is nice and important, but how do we respond there? And this is where the response module comes into play. So with our own agent, we can take actions onto devices, we can put them in isolation, and with our SOAR module, we can actually contain users, such as in your Active Directory or the Office 365 environment. When you look at the tech stack that you receive with Inside IDR, it has all three pillars of the SOC visibility triad that Gartner defined a couple of years back. So at the top, you see a traditional SIEM with user behavior analytics, but then again, you also are receiving a network traffic analysis module and a full-fledged EDR solution, all in one license. From an architectural point of view, this is what it then looks like. So we have our Insight Collector, which is a log collector that does the parsing and the heavy lifting for you in terms of the logs that you send to it. And it doesn't matter to us how much data you ingest or how many event sources you connect to this solution. We don't charge per data volume or per connector. We only charge on the number of devices that you're monitoring with this solution. So that makes the cost model very predictive. All of the data that we gather is sent to our SaaS solution, the command platform, which is hosted on AWS for all European customers in Frankfurt. And that is also the location where we tap in other Rapid7 products, such as the vulnerability management solution. When installing the agent, which is available for Windows, Mac, and Linux devices, all that data is directly correlated to the cloud module. And in case you would like to deploy the network sensor, you can do that on the core switch, and then 3 to 5% of the original bandwidth is forwarded straight to the command platform. So in terms of load on your infrastructure or load onto your external ISP line, it's limited to a minimum. Crucial to our Inside IDR solution is the Rapid7 Insight Agent, which we'll be zoning into today. The Insight Agent is capable of doing a full-fledged vulnerability management analysis on each endpoint it's installed, but in conjunction with that, it also has EDR capabilities, digital forensics, and incident response. So who of you knows or has worked with Velociraptor? Hands up. See a couple, yeah. It's completely built into this agent. So all the same technology, no extra resources needed. What we'll be looking at today is the agent's capabilities to deliver next-gen antivirus and ransomware prevention. Because if we look at EDRs, EDRs are typically known to protect against unknown threats from a detection and response capability. So if we look at how all of these technologies line up across known versus unknown and detection versus response, we see EDR operating in that space. Your typical antivirus is doing its job because someone once told certain files or certain hashes are potentially malicious. So that's where we block those files being deployed on an endpoint. And if they're actually deployed on the endpoint, then the EDR can still try to take action afterwards. This is what we'll be showing you today in a ransomware attack simulation, which we have a simple infrastructure for. We start off with a social engineering technique. So in our case, we received a phishing email. In that phishing email was a zip link. That zip link then redirects you to a seemingly PDF that has an LNK file in it. And that LNK file will then redirect you to a certain download. From our Rapid7 incident response data, so this is our own SOC operations last year, we have seen that at least 12% of all the attacks start with a social engineering technique. For today, we'll be using CloudShare. CloudShare is then connected to a VPC in AWS, where we will be running a couple of machines. So we have 3 different Windows clients, one with simply an EDR agent installed on it, the other one with next-gen antivirus installed, and the other one has ransomware prevention too. So what you will be seeing is that every single time that we run this analysis, we'll be sooner able to detect the ransomware. On the side, we have a command and control server, which we're connecting to. So this is typically your malicious infrastructure. So all of this is hosted in the same VPC. Today, we'll be looking at a phishing email with a zip file. This is some example I found online. But if we go and look at if there are any real cases in the world or well-known hacks that have had this method to deploy the malware, then we see that Quackbot did this a couple of years back. So Quackbot actually had zip files in emails that redirected to downloading another file, and that one contained malware that was deployed on the endpoint. Yeah, so right now we'll just be focusing on the EDR solution, which Barry will show to you.
Okay. So I will now switch over to a live demo. It can be a bit slow, but let's see what we can do. So first off, I will show you the command and control server. So we have it here. And let me just do sudo. So let's start up the command and control server. We just call it Voldemort as a joke. So now it's running and listening to specific ports, make connection to it, and send the transfer encryption files to make sure it's all encrypted on the machine. So as Joey mentioned, we first focus on the EDR client only. So I have here my victim with some nice files on it, also some secret files we need to keep secure. And we have here like an invoice. That's the attachment we received in the invoice. So I will open this file. It will take a few minutes because in the backend it does some communications back to the command and control server. At the end it will open up the PDF file like normal. So give it a few seconds. And in the meantime, let me check as well the command and control server. And you see already there's some communication coming to the platform. So this now we are in and fully controlling the machine. And looking back here, it's still opening. So there's the PDF, so acting as normal, a bit slow, normal for the user. But yeah, from now, it's starting downloading all files, make sure the software will be installed, notification for the end user, and it's encrypted. You need to pay a ransom to get your files back. So what you see in this case for the EDR side, there's no anything blocking it or detecting this kind of ransomware stuff. So you need more in place than only an EDR at the moment. And in here we see the full communication went from deploying it to getting the files downloaded and getting a full control to the system.
So yeah, in security we tend to focus nowadays quite a bit on our EDR solution, right? But actually preventing the EDR from having to take action can be much more beneficial because the EDR can be slow to detect the threat, or it can actually be disabled, as we have seen in the logs over there, where we see Microsoft Defender for Endpoint being disabled in this case. So what if we try to detect this at an earlier stage? And for that we rely on the Rapid7 next-gen antivirus solution. By not working on our prevention, we actually lost $500,000 worth of Bitcoin by ingesting the key into the ransomware. So now next-gen antivirus, and we should be able to detect this at an earlier stage.
Okay, let me show the simulation too to you guys. So let's open the next Windows machine with next-gen AV enabled. Different user, same story. We have the attachment here, but also in the PDF or in the zip file. Let me extract this case. So we see the invoice file. And there's also some difference in here. We see it's already recognized this as a malicious file. It's only an LNK file. So instead of showing the picture of the PDF. So by clicking on it, nothing happens for some reason. I try to click it again. So this is now blocked by next-gen antivirus just to prevent the action to interrupt. So what we can see is also Joey told about Inside IDR. So our detection response platform, how it looks like on this end now, because the user doesn't see anything. And what do we see as a security team currently on that system? So let's go to the alerts. And then sort by date. So there are too many alerts in this environment, but I will pick it up.
Always tricky, a live demo.
Always. Or let's use the investigations, we also can do. So here you see already the alert. So we have alerts and investigations. So alert is just the raw data, and investigation is already curated and correlated to other kind of machines, collecting more data of it. So what we now see in here is that it detected malware by our own agent. We show our left side how we find it out, the rule, and the right side what is discovered in the logging of that next-gen AV. So it's next-gen AV in this case. We see its on active scan has blocked this file, and we can see as well in this additional information what the file is, the path to it. Here it is, yeah, thank you. So for the end user nothing happened, but now it's prevented to do the ransomware. But in this case it was a known malicious file. In case it's an unknown file, it still passed this check because it's only signature checks. So in a case it's really a new file, it still happened to launch the ransomware file.
Yeah, so if we take it one step further and we have a look at our ransomware prevention module, we shouldn't even be allowed to open that file that contains the invoice link in it. So this is the final and last stage of the module we're showing you today. So now we have all three pillars of a full-fledged DDR solution.
Yeah, then important to notice that the ransomware prevention is enabled on this endpoint. So there's a few things what ransomware is do. It's looking at the files, but also the behavior of the machine can be changed. So one thing is really nice to share is that normally ransomware is only active on physical machines, and on virtual machines they stop working because it's probably a testing or a fake simulation to get the ransomware files. With ransomware prevention, our agent can also tell back to the ransomware files, we are a virtual machine, probably Russian language on it, just to block or spreading this kind of malicious files to broader network. So same situation, but now a different machine. Same files again on it. So there's still a file on it, but if I now double click on it, it gives a warning message to the user. And now it's prevented to run in memory disk already. So it's different states we block it. So for the user it's kind of the same situation, it does nothing. But it's really important just to make sure also on the behavioral things, what we know about this ransomware, we block it already. If you're going to look at our investigation, so I have another one. And let's see if I can find it quite easy. This is probably the one. There you see it's tried to open Notepad in the backend. So we see we're reading the ransomware file, what's opened, and there's some links and communications to a batch file and try to open a Notepad file. So that's really malicious for us. And prevent to run this on the system. So now it's prevented, but what you see is also with Instant IDR, we can collect more data around it already. So we have associate alerts, which are probably some other things happening on the machine, like can be things like clearing a log file or jumping to another machine, previous escalations. And what we can do is further as well is also from here make sure the system will be quarantined. So if ransomware still be deployed, we can quarantine it from here easily with our own agent or with any kind of other solution. So if you are a CrowdStrike customer or Defender or Cisco, it doesn't matter for us. We just ingest and make sure also automation will take place to the same other platforms. So this is what our SOC is constantly doing. So monitoring these alerts and make sure if something happens, still pass our checks. They will jump on it and make sure incident response will start up and look at the forensic side. Something to add, Joey?
Yeah, I think that was what we wanted to show to you today. It was a quick ransomware simulation. I can imagine there may be some questions from the audience, so I would like to take the time right now in case there's any question that we can address these publicly.
In the meantime, I'll just show us as well what the hacker is seeing as well. So we still have communication, but let's say you get in contact with the ransomware team and want to negotiate about the price and make sure you pay the ransom about the 500K. They can just see in here and give you the recovery key to make sure to recover it after you paid. So they can also see which files have been encrypted. So they are really supportive always to help to make sure you pay.
Yes, thank you.